my channel. Welcome back to Vlogmas day number 4. So for this I used 5 different colors. I used about 1 skein for each. I didn't use a whole skein for each, but you won't need more than 1 skein per color. I used 12mm knitting needles, and all you need to know is how to knit and purl. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's go ahead and jump right into the tutorial. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have a really fun, easy tutorial for you today. I am filming this during the whole month of Vlogmas, so hopefully I'm able to get this out in the next few days. Fingers crossed. That being said, I don't know what day of Vlogmas this video will go out on, but I wanted to go ahead and just start this whole video. I am going to be doing a Scrappy Chunky knit scarf tutorial. I was watching a video of this girl and she was wearing this adorable chunky scarf that looked like it came straight from Anthropologie. Hers actually came from Aerie, but if you go to Anthropologie, they have those really knit chunky cardigans like that you see everywhere that are hundreds of dollars. So I know if you're in the knitting community, you know what I'm talking about. And so I wanted to do my own take on this scarf. So I had certain colors in mind that I wanted to do, and my husband very sweetly encouraged me to shop my own yarn stash. So that led me to create this Scrappy Chunky knit scarf. So the colors that I have are not ones that I would particularly pick for this scarf, but I just want to show you that you can make anything with what you have. I already had chunky yarn, so I had Bernat Softy Chunky. These are all weight 6, category 6, so super chunky or super bulky. So I have this orange color. I have a black color. This is actually Lion Brand's Wool Ease. So I have a black. I have a tan color, or like a cream color. I have this kind of a tweed color, and then I have this very random, nice wool, and this kind of gray color. So I'm gonna make a scarf with these 5 colors. So this is going to be my Scrappy Chunky scarf, and it's going to be really fun. We're just going to have a lot of fun with this, and the point of this is to make it scrappy. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need a gauge. You don't need what you might think that you need. So I actually had needles already, so I'm going to be using 12mm needles. So I had these already. They are wood. I don't prefer working with wood, but it's what I have, so that's what I'm going to work with. And then each color is up to you. If you want to do 5 colors, if you want to do 1, if you want to do 10. And then each length is going to vary. I personally like working in odd colors. I like having 5 colors to work with. Yeah, and then each amount of rows will differ depending on the color. So this is the most customizable scarf ever. So there's nothing new under the sun with this scarf. This is very beginner friendly. So all you need to know how to do is casting on, knitting, purling, and casting off, and switching colors. Switching colors is very simple. There are multiple ways to do it. There's really no right or wrong way, especially with something like this, and especially if you do go to Anthropologie, which I encourage you to do. Go look at their knit chunky cardigans, which are gorgeous. They're hundreds of dollars. They don't weave in their ends, and they have jogs running all the way through, which just shows where they have switched colors. So just know that there is no pressure with this scarf, and just have a lot of fun with it. So let's go ahead and begin. So first we're going to decide the order of the yarn that we want to do. So like I said, I have a cream, I have a tweed, I have an orange, I have this black, and I have a gray. So the order that I'm going to do, I'm going to start with my cream color, then I'm going to do my orange, then I'm going to do my gray, then my black, then my tweed, and then work on down that way. So starting with the cream color, or your color of choice, color number 1, what we're going to do is cast on 30 stitches. Again, this is so customizable for you depending on the width of your scarf. You can make it more narrow, you can make it bigger and chunkier. So we're just going to do a very simple cast on. So we're going to cast on 30 stitches. So meet me back when you have 30 stitches cast on. Okay, so we have 30 stitches cast on. So the first row is going to be a knit row. So let's go ahead and knit this first row. Okay, I'm finishing up this first row, a knit row. And that first row after the cast on is always a little bit fiddly, so don't worry about that. Okay, so first row is complete. Second row is going to be a purl row. So we are going to purl the entire row. There are a couple different ways to keep track of the right side and the wrong side. So we're making a stockinette stitch. So alternating every row. Row 1, knit. Row 2, purl. Row 3, knit. Row 4, purl, etc. Sometimes for me, if I am just zoned out, I look at the tail yarn, and that helps me know what row I'm on. So when it's in the front, it's a purl row. If it's in the back, it's a knit row. But as you work on the scarf or your project, you very quickly are able to tell the purl side from the knit side, the right side from the wrong side. So row number 2, let's go ahead and purl this row. So again, I'm not showing you how to do these stitches. There are so many wonderful tutorials out there on how to actually knit. So if knitting and purling, or if you're new to the whole concept, just look at different tutorials on YouTube on how to actually begin to knit. But once you know how to knit and purl, you can do anything. So let's go ahead, purl this row, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so I'm on my final purl stitch. All right, that row is complete. Row number 3, let's go ahead and knit this row. My needles are a little bit shorter. You can get longer needles that hold your stitches more, but it works just fine. You can just bunch them up and just continue on. So the goal of this is to just work with what you have. And because I am working with a bunch of scraps, I unfortunately cannot give you the amount of yarn that I use, but just know it's not going to be a ton. So you'll probably have the yarn that you need in your stash. So let's go ahead and continue on knitting and purling alternating rows, creating our stockinette stitch until we get to the desired length. So I wanted to come on here just real quick to kind of show you the right side and the wrong side. So when we're doing a stockinette stitch, this is going to be the right side. So when we're on this side, we know to knit this row. When we turn it around, this is the wrong side, or the back side. So when we're on this row, we know to do a purl stitch. So that's a very simple way, once you kind of get the project going, to be able to tell which row that you are on. All right, I also forgot to mention that we're going to do 20 rows for this first color. I personally have the most color, the most skeins of this cream color and the orange color. So for those, I'm going to do longer rows. And like I said, we are going to be doing varying lengths of each color. So for example, black and gray might be a little bit shorter, orange and cream a little bit longer, that sort of thing. So it's going to be a very scrappy patchwork type of scarf, and I am so excited for it. All right, so let's get to 20 rows and I will be back. So I'm on the final row. I am on row number 20, and so this is where I'm going to actually switch colors. So like I said, there are multiple ways to switch colors throughout your project, so there's really no right or wrong way, and especially with this Scrappy Chunky Scarf, the more messy, the more scrappy it looks, the better. So I actually, as I was working on my scarf, I was trying to go over the colors, and I decided to kind of switch the layout and switch the order of the colors. So I think that's something that as you knit, as you work on it, you can kind of figure out which colors you actually want to do next. Again, no right or wrong, but I'm working with the colors that I have. So I think the second color I'm going to do is actually going to be gray. So I'm going to go ahead and switch colors, and I'm going to add in this gray color. And so like I said, there's really no right or wrong way to do this, but I have just a couple more stitches here. So I have 3 stitches left. I'm going to go ahead and work the next 2. And then on this final stitch, I'm going to work it half. So I'm going to put my needle through, and I'm going to grab the new yarn, and I'm going to go ahead and purl that new yarn as if I had been working on it. So there, I have the new color switched, and I'm ready to go ahead and knit with this right color. It's going to be a little bit wiggly here. When we go in to weave the ends, we'll be able to fix this up, but that's just how I switch colors. I just feel like it creates kind of a more seamless look. So now I'm ready to go ahead and begin working with my next color, color number 2. And for this one, we're going to be doing 10 rows. So now I'm on the final row of my gray color. So I'm going to finish up this row, and then I'm going to add in my next color. So color number 3 for me is going to be my orange color. I'm going to be doing 40 rows of this orange color. Okay, so I'm going to work half my last stitch and add in my orange color. So because I have the most orange, like I had mentioned, I'm going to be doing the most section of this color. So I'm going to be doing 40 rows. So let's find the end here and add this in. You can always just give your ends a little bit of a tug. That helps to kind of tighten up. And I'd forgotten to mention earlier too, each time I switch colors, I do go ahead and cut off the ends there. So I'm going to go ahead, find the end for the gray. I'm going to give it a little snip. And let's go ahead and work 40 rows of color number 3. And I will meet you back. Okay, so I actually had misspoke. So instead of doing 40 rounds of orange, we're going to do 30 rounds. So I have one more round to go. So as I finish up this last round, this is where we are going to go ahead and switch colors. Okay, I'm nearing towards the end. I have 3 stitches left. So I'll work 2. And on this final one is where we're going to add in the new color. So I'm going to take out my black here. I'm going to add black in. So I'll take the end and finish up purling the stitch. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and cut the tail of the orange color since we're done with that. Doesn't have to be a long tail, but definitely long enough to be able to weave it in at the end. So now we're going to start color number 4. So for this color, we're going to do 10 rounds, 10 rows of color number 4, which for me is going to be black. So go ahead and knit your 10 rows of your color number 4 and we'll meet back here. All right, everyone, so I'm back with a little bit of a tweak on this. So instead of doing 10 rows, we're going to do 7 rows of black. As you can tell, I am filming this as I am making it. And so as I was making this, I realized I really liked the shorter stripe just for what we're going to do next. So let's go ahead and do just 7 rows of the black color. If you've already done 10, I'm sorry, just continue with the 10. It's only a 3-row difference, so it is going to be okay. Like I said, it's a very scrappy scarf. So there is no pressure. If you did 10 rows, keep those 10 rows, okay? For me, I'm just going to stop here at 7. Well, I've done 6, so I'm going to do 1 more, and then we're going to switch colors. Okay, so I'm on the final 3 stitches. This is kind of where I like to stop to kind of get situated. So for color number 5 is going to be this tweed color that I have. So let's find the end here, get everything ready. All right, so we got 1, 2, and then on this third one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get the new color here. So I went ahead and completed row number 7. And then we're going to use this tweed color here that I have. So we're going to get the end of this. We're going to go ahead and start. Just give the ends a little bit of a tug. Again, there is no right or wrong way of switching colors. So just take that pressure off. Might take a couple of tries to kind of figure out what works best for you. So with this color number 5, we're going to do 20 rounds, 20 rows of this color. So I'll meet you back after row 20. All right, so now I'm on row 20. So I'm going to finish up row 20. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add in our color number. We're going to add in our 4th color again. So I had the color black, so we're going to do black again after color number 5. So color number 4 comes color after color number 5. Okay, so I'm going to get my black, I'm going to add it in. So taking color number 4, we're going to go ahead and add that in. Okay, so with color number 4, once it's added in, we're going to go ahead and knit the same amount of rows that we had done previously with color number 4. So if you went ahead and did 10 rows, I say go ahead and continue and do 10 for this one. Because I did 7, I'm going to go ahead and do 7 rows next. So with color number 4, go ahead and knit 7 rows. And don't worry too much about your ends. If they're a little bit loose during that initial row, you can tighten them up, and then as we go in to weave them in, we can always tighten them there as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and knit my 7 rows of color number 4, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've already done my 7 rows of color number 5. So that is going to be it for this block of pattern. So now what we're going to do is repeat the whole thing as many times as you want. I have a feeling I'm going to be doing this about 3 times. I don't exactly know. You will know because at the beginning of this video I will tell you, but right now I think I'm going to be doing this about 3 times. So this is what the scarf is looking like. Obviously at the end we can block it. We'll go over that later. So let's just go ahead and do a recap of the pattern. So color number 1, we're going to do 20 rows. Color number 2, we're going to do 10 rows. Color number 3, we're going to do 30 rows. Color number 4, we're going to do 7 rows, or if you went ahead and did 10, you can do 10 rows. Color number 5, we are going to do 20 rows, and then we're going to repeat color number 4 for 7 rows, or 10 if you did your 10 rows. So that is a pattern, and repeat that as many times as you want to get the length of the scarf that you want. And I'm going to go ahead and finish up this for myself, and we will meet back when everything is complete. Alright, scarf is now complete, kind of. I went ahead and did a total of 3 pattern repeats. So this is what it is looking like as of right now. What I'm going to do is go ahead and weave in the ends. I know that's not the funnest part, but that's the last step. Weave in the ends, and then because it does curl, you have the option to block it if you'd like. You could steam block it, you could wet block it, you could do your own choice, or you could leave it as is. After I weave in the ends, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try steam blocking it first, see if that helps, and then if not, maybe I will wet block it or just leave as is. But for right now, it is time to weave in the ends. Alright everyone, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that you learned something, and maybe you even are going to make this scarf. If you are, I'd love to know. You can post it in the comments below, or you can tag me on Instagram over at Audrey Crafting Corner. I will have my Instagram linked down below as well. I will say I did go ahead and wet block this, so what I did is I soaked it in warm water and then I just stretched it and laid it flat to dry. It did grow quite a bit, so I do have it doubled, so if you only wanted to do maybe the pattern repeat twice, you can do that. I went ahead and did it 3 times. I like wearing it doubled like this anyways, so I think that it turned out perfect. I had a lot of fun making this. Hopefully you enjoyed this and you had a lot of fun watching, and you will also be making this scarf in the near future. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.